Well, hello there, Minecrafters. Thanks for coming by. And today we're going to be taking a look at the new conditional feature for command blocks. We are in snapshot 15W34B, which is the fourth week of snapshots in the 1.9 update. The other day I put out a video that described the new command blocks. We have repeating command block, the chain command block, and the traditional impulse command block, or purple, green, orange if you like. And definitely check out that video if you haven't. It's in the description because this video here is a continuation of that whole demonstration there. So now we have the conditional or unconditional toggleable button here. It works on each one of the command blocks. But we also have Bob, Doug, and Sam, and we have some particles here. We have a cloud particle and a happy villager particle. So now I have this chain, what should we call it? A repeating chain clock. It's not called a fill clock anymore. Man, that's a mouthful. And they're going to fire off at whatever speed the source command block is. So we have, it doesn't have to have a command in here, but we do have a repeating command block. It's going to fire off, as long as it's powered, to fire it off at 20 times a second, I believe. And then each one of these that is drawing, I guess the arrows are drawing from that source block, they're going to fire off at the same speed as long as they are powered. So they can be powered by anything. I'm using redstone blocks. The other thing we have is a bunch of test for commands, and I have these comparators here just for visual interpretation. You can pull them off the side just like you could before on fill clocks. We have first a test for of any type of armor stand. We have a test for Bob, who's above here, a test for Doug, and a test for Sam. So anytime that there is Bob in the world, so you see here, if he's not in the world, then it's not going to go off. If I put Bob back in the world, it will go off. If I remove Bob and Sam, because we still have an armor stand, you can go there. And if I even remove blocks in the middle, the signal still travels through, regardless if you have conditional or unconditional in there. So what is the difference? Well, conditional means that whatever the command block you have placed down, the one before it has to have executed if it's set on conditional. So if this one's conditional, the one before it has to have executed. Usually you think of it in true or false, but it doesn't necessarily have to be that with, like, say, a say command or a tell raw. All it has to do is put that command out, and then it gives a success count of 1. That means that this command block can fire off. So to demonstrate that, what I've got is this command here is unconditional. This command here is unconditional. This command here is conditional. This command here is conditional. And then another unconditional and unconditional. So because this one right here is conditional, that means that this block here has to find Doug in order for this particle cloud to exist. So if I remove Doug, that particle cloud cannot exist. As soon as Doug comes back in the world, because this one is true, then this one can fire off. And you'll notice, even though this is untrue, or if these aren't fired, the end chain still is active. That's really important. That was the one thing I was really nervous about today before this was released. The other thing is, because it doesn't have to be a test for, it could be any command. Because I've got a particle command here, I can still test for Doug. It's still active and all that because this particle command can execute. So it doesn't always have to be a true or false, if that makes sense. So this also works with clocks here, or repeating command blocks. This one here, I have a tell raw, found Mac, and side note, tell raw's changed. Maybe I'll do another video on that. But it's not as easy anymore. You have to be a little more specific. Anyway, as soon as I find Mac, this is a test for Mac, this is going to light up. And because this repeating command block is conditional on this block, then we have a clock that's able to start here. Interesting way to stop and start clocks, because as soon as this one is ending here, this one's still firing off and trying to test for it because it can't. We can't actually execute this next repeating command block. The same works for this test for here on a regular impulse command block. I've got it set to set block a sea lantern right here. So as soon as I have Mac over here and I fire this off, then we have a sea lantern. If Mac is not here, then because it's conditional on that clock and there's no Mac, then that block cannot fire off there. I'm not entirely sure where you would use that, but that basically kind of explains how the conditional feature works. Hopefully that makes sense to you guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you have any questions, put them in the comments below. But until then, guys, enjoy your Minecrafting and have a great day.